All right, so this is for all of our friends who like our chaotic energy and wanted to see us start a podcast. So here it is.
Yes.
And I hope you guys enjoy.
We'll hit you with the facts, we'll hit you with the emotions, and we'll
I
hit
don't
you
know
with the
about
chaos.
facts. I don't know about facts.
We have the facts. Don't play
Okay.
yourself now.
I know, but like
I have the facts. Anyways. Not the truth. But the facts.
We were very opinionated. We have
Anyways.
opinions. There we go.
Okay, so today the first subject will be dating in general. And the irony of it all is that one of us has a lot of experience
Mm-hmm.
and one of us has none.
Like zero.
But I'm a good coach. And as they say, coaches don't play. Thank you. Anyways.
First topic, please. Thank you.
We're going to touch on 3 things. So one would be, would you date someone who's not as woke? Because that's what started this idea to begin with, as you, or not work, period. Would you keep dating them and try to fix them? The second one will be, would you date interracially? Which you know, we are very opinionated about. And would you date someone who doesn't have the same goals as you or is not in the same level of life as you? And then will you date someone who's significantly younger or older than you, which Sarah has very strong opinions about?
I really do. Well, you'll see.
Okay,
You'll see.
so first one. Would you date someone who's not as woke?
Can I put this in a simple way?
Yes.
Hell no.
Hell no to Hallelujah.
Hell to the no. It's not. It's like, again, I don't handle ignorance as well
As some people do.
as some people do. Like if you come to me saying some stupid nonsense, I'm going to catch a case.
I've seen it happen.
I'm going to catch a case. Like, I'm going to go off. It's going to be a very uncomfortable experience for you and for me.
And you're about to hang up or leave the whole scene together before you smack somebody.
So it's like, I don't know how people can even handle ignorance in general. Like, besides racism and actual, like, just pure ignorance.
Yeah.
Like, if we end up together and I take off my wig and you're like, oh my God, you have no hair, I'm gonna smack you. I'm going to smack you. I'm legit going to smack you. Or if you see me braiding my hair and you're like, what is that, horse hair? I'm going to stab you.
Yes, I would stab someone too.
I would stab you.
That's a lot.
Like, not, we're joking. I swear.
We're not. What's the word again?
We're not
condoning violence.
Yes. We're just saying,
We're just
hypothetically.
saying, hypothetically, you know, in a parallel world.
Someone's gonna die.
Yeah. In my brain, you're going to die.
Yes.
In my brain, I'm killing you, but in real life, I won't, you know? Because
Exactly.
my black ass will get locked up for life. For me, it's also a hell no. But I don't get as mad from the get-go when someone is ignorant. As long as they're willing to learn. What drives me crazy, because I told you about this, like I met this guy who I talk to at the library sometimes, and he says very ignorant people. I have an accent. I'm a French speaker to begin with. Thank you very much. This is my 3rd language. She gonna make fun of my pronunciation. I'm making stuff clear now. Anyways.
Continue.
The point is, he always talks about race and women in general in a very derogative way, and he doesn't realize it. Like, it's legit ignorance. Like, he doesn't know.
So it's like unconscious.
Unconscious. Like, what he says sometimes is so fucked up. I'm looking at him like, no one told you.
Like, you didn't get the memo?
No, like, you can't say this. But he's very confused. He'd be like, why? But he's very open to learning.
Okay.
Once I explain to him why this is wrong, he doesn't do it again.
Yeah.
But would I date him now? No. Because the point
is,
I do not have time every single day when I come home. Every single day, because when you're dating someone, you're talking to them all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to be your
teacher,
your woke teacher, and have to correct you all the time when you're saying stupid things. We're all learning. We're all evolving. We're all saying things are insensitive sometimes or not very, what's it called? Informed.
Yeah.
But there are certain baseline things that I feel like if you just paid a little bit more attention,
you would know.
And
like, I feel like there is like this whole thing of like, as black people, we're supposed to educate all the time. Like, that's not realistic. I'm allowed to get mad.
Mad.
I'm allowed to be angry at someone not knowing these basic things. Like it's okay. It's okay to feel emotion for this. We don't always have to be like, oh, it's okay. You didn't know.
No,
let me teach you.
And a lot of people take advantage of that.
Exactly.
Because they do it, and sometimes it's like, I know this is not the first time you've said this, and I know this is not the first time you've been told that this is not okay. So you're doing this
to get a reaction
out of people sometimes,
because you don't care, or probably you do know better, but you don't want to learn.
Or you know you've been told it's wrong, but you don't want to believe it, and you don't also want to take the time to read up and figure out why this is wrong. And I feel like people sometimes go, because one time the guy I was telling you about told me, well, that's women's problems. Because I was talking to him about feminism.
Yeah.
And I told him, what you don't understand is that there's no such a thing as an isolated group's problem. Every problem from any part of the world, any gender, any race, any social class affects everybody in the long run.
It does,
I told him he was raised by a single mother.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it wasn't for feminist movements, your mother wouldn't get funding.
At all. Zero.
The government wouldn't be taking care of her, knowing that 80% of single parent households are led by women. And most of those women live under the line of poverty in Canada. Because they're working small jobs. Sometimes they got pregnant when they were younger. It's a whole lot of things that makes it very hard for them to raise their children. And if those women don't get help, their children are not just female. Their children are sometimes boys. Sometimes they're disabled boys because he has a mental disability. But all those things play into it. And what I'm saying is, you can't just say it's a woman's problem or it's a men's problem. Yeah. It's always everybody's problem at some type of degree, because it will affect you at some point or another. Yeah. So first of all, for people, they need to understand that. And once that barrier is crossed, now we can talk about then how can you help? Whatever that issue is, how can you help? Now, if we come back to the dating aspect of it, for me, just certain things, because I feel very strongly, we both feel very strongly about feminism and racial issues in general. And I want to raise my children a certain way to get these values and better themselves.
It's like when you have just someone else instilling some certain type of values into your kids, it's like, for what? Yeah. For what reason? Why would I allow you to instill not even factual things. Just idiotic things,
and sometimes and you'll do it unconsciously. It's not something you would be doing out of malice, but just because you don't know and you don't care to know, you're gonna spread these things to my children.
Like, how am I gonna have a black son and have the father telling her, it's fine, just listen to the police, just do whatever they say all the time, you'll be fine? That's not fucking true. That's not realistic.
Or sometimes what happens, and I'm not even talking about just white or black. There are black people who are uneducated about racial issues. And or sometimes they just do not care. They know they exist, but they don't want to be. They don't want to learn.
Nope.
So I cannot raise children with someone like that. I just cannot. Because I was telling this, remember we were talking to one of your friends, and I was telling you, what you don't understand is, for me, the reason why as a black woman, I thank God. Well, first of all, I wasn't born here, so I was in a different environment. But also, even in the different environment I was in, because we know that colorism exists everywhere around the world. It's just a universal thing. But the reason why it never affected me personally is because of my dad. Because my dad, when I was very young, gave me literature, books. You know what I mean? Like, exposed me to the beauty of black women. Where, like, these are your ancestors. They're black women. They were queens. They were warriors. Like, you know what I mean? Like, read these things. Know that you should never feel lesser than because you're black. So that was my dad, not even my mom. My mom is also the same, but really, you know how girls usually are closer to their dads, especially when it comes to like discussing issues and stuff like that. So because I had the chance to do that, God forbid I have a daughter and my husband doesn't have that ability, what are you gonna tell her when I'm not around?
That she's ugly, that you need to do,
or it is what it is.
That, who cares?
Like, that's just how the world is. Just deal with it. Because some black men are like that too. They'll just be like, I don't know what to tell you. That's just how the world is. No. There are black men. We've seen this with the other Funke. Lil Wayne.
Yes, Lil Wayne, T.I.
All these, like, you have very melanated daughters. And you are publicly talking about how black girls are ugly. Like, who wants to put their children in that type of situation?
They don't care. They don't care.
And
it's self-hate. At that point, it's self-hate.
Because who raised you? It's your mother's black.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother's not light-skinned. Your mother's black. So when you're saying this, you are insulting your mother, your grandmother, your ancestors. Like, are you even conscious of what you're doing?
No, because they don't care. Again, it's like what you said. When you get to a certain level of wealth, you do not care about race.
That's what my dad was telling me. He was like, it's a level of wealth that they live in a different world, and they're so not affected by racial issues to the same degree as we are that they start forgetting that they're black. Mm-hmm. Like, it starts slipping out their mind. I'm like, bro,
until they get stopped by the police or they end up in jail. They're like, oh, all my black people come help and support. Like, fuck you. Fuck you.
Where were you until now?
Legit.
So, you know? But also, it's also important to keep in mind that we date to marry.
Yeah.
We date with the intention of marrying.
I could see you as someone.
Like, not tomorrow, not in a year, but we date with the intention of eventually I want to make a family with this man. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But that's the intention I'm setting. Exactly. Some people date for fun. Mm-hmm. So for other people who are dating for fun or just in the moment, their response to I'm dating someone work or not might change. Because for me, it's less about me. It's more of a, like, if I'm trying to build a future with this is going to be an issue. But even when you're dating just in the spur of the moment, you're not taking into account human emotions. Because a lot of interracial couples or couples where a woman marries someone who's very sexist, even though she's a feminist. Yeah. And sometimes you look at them and you're like, how the hell did this even happen? Yeah. It's because they dated in the moment out of love or infatuation and didn't take into... And then now they're fully in love. They're fully invested in this person. Now you're married. And then 10 years down the line, you realize...
that this person is...
You knew it. But it just didn't hit it. Yeah. It didn't hit you the same way now that the love goggles are off.
Or you thought that, whatever, he would change or she would change or she would adapt to me or he would adapt to me, but that's not how that works.
Don't play those games. It happens, but it's like the 0.1% chance. Don't play those games. Don't try to change nobody. Don't be with nobody who's trying to ask you to change
who people, like, who they are at face value as best as you can.
Yes,
you know,
I heard Oprah one time said it. She was like, when people greet you for the first time, your first interaction with people usually tells you a lot about who they are.
Exactly.
And if people listened more and were more conscious of what people are telling them the first time they meet, they'd avoid a lot of funke friendships, relationships, partnerships.
Again, but at the same time, it's like some people can switch up with quickness.
Yes, I know.
Some people will put on a show. They put on a show for you.
We have been bamboozled. We have been bamboozled.
Like,
oh my god. Some of these boys, she was like, he's funke. I'm like, no. From the way he talked to us, there is no way.
And then, I thought
I was skeptical. I thought I was skeptical because I've never dated because I'm so skeptical.
No, but me, I know the signs. I've come to a point where, like, I'm in it, and then as soon as he's showing me certain types of behavior, I'm out. I'm still, like, I always tell for every guy I date or I have an attention to, I always tell him, like, you will never know when I'm not into you no more. You won't know. You won't know when I'm out of it. Because I am going to just take myself out and you won't know.
That's what a lot of men don't realize is that women are able to leave you mentally before they leave you physically. You know? Men usually when they're gone, like physically or not. But women are able to leave you just in their heads before they even leave you physically. There's some people who are married to people and I'm like, you're not married to them.
I know. She's probably not gonna watch this, but again, the funniest moment for me, just personally, was when he said that because he wants to be more into his faith, get more into Islam, that dating means haram, and then literally the next day I see him on Tinder. I was like, wow, just wow. I was like, oh, wow, okay.
I was like, wow, too, because I'm sitting here like, yeah, the ones who go to the mosque, they're praying. Yeah, usually they're good guys.
No.
now that I've seen...
I've
seen her
2,
Tinder.
3, 4.
And I'm sitting here like, I see these people go to the mosque. And like, okay, for Christians, let me give you context, okay? A Christian who goes to church is a good thing. But that's once a week. That's on a Sunday, you know? You can have enough dedication to go to church on a Sunday and like on the side be funke. With Islam, we have 5 prayers a day. So you have to walk yourself to the mosque and pray 5 times a day,
Yep.
7 days a week. So it takes more dedication. So for me, when I see someone have that type of dedication, I'm like, you're not going to turn around
and start
doing stupid shit.
But
Lo and behold,
they're all on there. Oh, a lot of them are on there. A lot. I see a lot all the time. And I'm like, oh, wow.
I'm scared. I'm scared for us out here. But anyways, our answer to would you date someone who isn't woke is no.
Hell no.
If you have the patience and the heart and the love in you to train somebody
like a dog. No.
And I
well,
she said it.
Am I wrong though? Am I wrong? Am I
The
wrong?
opposite.
Yes or no? Am I wrong?
No.
Like a dog. Thank you.
I don't have time. I simply do not. Like, if you can, that's great. But I just don't. Because I can do it for strangers, but I can't do it with someone who I have to interact with every day. Because at some point, it's exhausting.
No, and like, I can't care for a person who I know doesn't even have me.
Yeah. People
of my own kind. In their own interest.
And I can't be your walking library either.
Exactly.
Like, go read. Go get books. See the guy from How to Get Away with Murder?
Yeah.
I forget his name, but this actor...
what's his face?
I forget his name. We'll look it up.
He plays Asher.
Yeah, he plays Asher in How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
But he reads.
A lot.
Like, if he wants to understand something about racial issue or feminism, he'll pick up a book.
He'll read it.
If you're too lazy to pick up a book and you're not a reader, go online. There are hella videos.
Audiobooks. Not sponsored, but audible.com. There you go.
Go there, listen to a book. Go on YouTube. You'll find people who make actually very comprehensive videos. No. Black people.
There's still some people that I'm like, they're not telling you, they're sugarcoating it for you.
So, okay.
They're not really.
But there are people who are real, like For Harriet.
Yeah, For Harriet.
I like her. She'll go to the point, she'll tell you the tea, she'll tell you the facts.
Exactly.
And she'll get in your face. Iloho will get in your face. So you need to get some of the good YouTubers and listen to them and you learn.
And if you're at an extreme level, there's Angel, I Know Your Game.
You don't send Angel. You don't send people newbies to Angel. Even the first time I listened,
experience.
The first time I listened to Angel, I said, first of all, I love this man because I'm extreme. But I was also like, someone who don't know this will listen to this man and be like, who?
What? Huh?
Click outs. They'll be scared.
Yes.
That's just how Angel talks.
It's not for the lighthearted.
It is not. It is not. And if you're not black, I'm just gonna tell you that's not for you.
At all.
It is not. Unless you're one of those black people who have a lot of black friends who are very woke and you're used to hearing that type of talk and you understand where it's coming from, you're gonna be like, this man is racist. Which we're gonna get to. Black people cannot be racist. Go on Google, type definition of racists. It does not apply to us. I'm one of those people who feel like black people can be prejudiced.
What they always use like the first dictionary thing that pops up, but that's not an accurate.
Even the first dictionary thing that pops up does not apply to black people. Because it has to be structural and economical, and it has to be a majority group over a minority group. In North America, black people cannot be racist. In Africa now, come see me in Senegal.
Yes.
We'll talk about it again.
Yes.
But here you can't. So what I'm saying is it doesn't apply. We can be prejudiced though. It doesn't mean that we can't have prejudice, but we can't be racist. Because even the idea of race as a social stratification, like a social construct, social construct that like divides people into these are superior and these are inferior, were fundamentally created by white people. So I'm sitting here like, for me to be racist, I would have to go on a spaceship.
Go back in time
and do to you what you've done to me. And then sit here and say, I will not date a white person. And then I'm racist.
But for the thing is, like, when it comes to preferences in general, one thing I think that people are kind of missing the point is that if you are white... and you prefer to date white people, that is okay.
Okay, yes. No one's mad at you.
If you are Asian and you prefer to date Asian people, that is okay.
If you are black and you prefer to date black people, that is okay.
It's okay to date. You're supposed to be attracted to the people who look like you.
Statistically, people are attracted to... Because the whole opposites attract is a lie.
Exactly.
You are attracted to people who are more like you. And race is skin deep. It's not just your color of skin. It's also your culture.
You know?
So, like, even when you're talking about black people, a black Caribbean, we're more talking to someone who's a black Caribbean because they share the same culture than a black African and a black, what's it called? African American.
Exactly. We're not saying that, like, you can, like, if you're a white person, you want to date black, or if you're this, you want to date that. That's okay. That's fine. But you're not racist if you don't want to date a black person or a certain type of person. You're not racist. It only becomes racist
when it's a mandate. No, but when it's a mandate, that's when people call it racism. Is when you have a mandate. No, because
I wouldn't even say if it's a mandate. I would say if you're like for something else, and then you bring down something else in return. So if you're a white person, like, I only date black women, and I hate white women, I hate Asian women, I find them all ugly, I find them all this and this and that.
That is being racist.
That's being racist.
Yes.
But if you just say, I'm a white guy and I just like to date black women, or I like to date white women.
Wait, a white man who says, I like to date black women, all of a sudden, we're not looking at you like you're racist, but we're like fetish.
Yeah,
which is a lot of the time is the case.
There's a thin line between.
Here's the thing for me is that you have to, like, the difference is what you were saying. Is the line between preference and mandate.
Yeah.
Preference is I'd rather, but I would deal with someone who doesn't fit into this. Like, I prefer men with beards.
Yeah.
Does that mean if a guy is really great and doesn't have a beard, I won't date him? No. It just means that's what I prefer. If I can have access to that, it's better for me.
Yeah.
But if I don't, I'll also take that.
Yeah.
A mandate is even if everyone on earth died, and this was the only person left, and they don't have a beard, I guess humanity is over. Everyone is dead. No more humans. That's what a mandate is. Yes. Now, the thing is, it is just culturally, it is weird when a white person has a mandate for dating other white people. Because then the question becomes, why?
Is it though?
No, it is. Because I've been in a situation where I said, I can find a white man attractive.
Yes.
But I am not attracted to white men.
Yes.
Which is different. Like, I can tell this is a good looking man.
Yeah.
But will I feel attraction towards them? No.
Do I feel like romantic attraction towards them?
What?
Romantic attraction.
I won't feel that. Yeah. Not physical, not romantic. It's just like, if you want to be friends, cool. That's the only type of attraction you're going to get out of me. And he said, me too, but with white girls. I can only feel attraction towards white girls and not other races, because I can find them attractive, but I won't feel attraction towards them.
That's fine.
No. Everyone looked at him like,
really?
Yeets.
Really?
Yes, and they were all white.
Really?
And they looked at him like, you know why? Because I understand that. Because when a white person, because of their history, again, that's why context is so important. Because of the context and the history of white men and white and black women or Asian women, etc. When a white man says, I only want to date white women, it is assumed, and more often than not it is, because they feel like white women are superior. I haven't met a white guy who has a mandate for white women and has a solid explanation for it. Because for me, I can give you a whole essay on why, and we're gonna get to that, on why I would only date someone who is black.
Yeah.
Because for me, it has a lot of political value, economic value, and you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
For a white man, for me, it would feel very... Even for Asian people, sometimes they can give you a clear reason. Sometimes it's wealth and how wealth is distributed in their countries. And it's like, we can't... And culture. So in their sense, it's something that they can also explain to you in a very clear way. Sometimes it's just, I wouldn't mind, but the strife it would create into my family is not worth it to me. So I might as well find someone great who's my race, and then everyone is happy. For white people, I have never heard a white person give me a solid explanation without sounding racist about why they have a mandate for white women.
For white women.
Because if it goes, because I find them more attractive, then you're saying other women are not attractive. That there's no such a thing.
I don't think he's saying that. I don't think they'll be saying that.
If something is more... If something is more, it means the opposite is less.
Not necessarily. The beauty of white women does not diminish the beauty of black women.
It doesn't. But what I'm saying,
or the beauty of Asian. But
no,
I get it when it comes from a white person. It just sounds more this. But I feel like, and I'm not trying to defend them, but I feel like in that sense, I'm like, that's fine. You can like white
No, I'm not
people.
saying you can't like them. I'm saying
But
you can have a preference. I'm saying when it comes to a mandate.
Yes.
So I would only date someone who is white. For you to explain that to me as a white male, I mean, if you watching this and you have a good explanation in the comments, I'd like to hear it because I haven't heard it yet. Because every single time it comes back to more. And the moment you go into more, it means, even if it doesn't mean it in reality, it means in your head, the opposite is less. Yeah. For something to be more, the opposite has to be less. If you say, I find beards more attractive, it means you find people without a beard less attractive. That's just what it means. So if your explanation is, I find white women more attractive, you're saying other women are less attractive. Even if it's not true, you're saying that's true to you and that's racist. Because you haven't met all women from other races. So you don't know that. The fact that you would fundamentally believe that before even meeting women from other races is racist.
But I'm like, at the same time, I'm kind of...
No, I'm saying they're allowed to have a preference. I'm saying when it comes to a mandate, I understand why it's seen...
To have a mandate?
No, I'm not saying they're not allowed to have a mandate. I'm saying I understand why when they have a mandate, it can be seen as racist. I don't care because I don't want to date them either. So it's like, if you have a mandate against black women, I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Have fun. Like, it does not affect me because I'm not concerned. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, from a point of view, even from your other... white people that you may hang out with, if and I feel like sometimes also the reaction those people had is because I was there and I am black. Yeah. If I wasn't there, the reaction might have been different. Because
like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, like sometimes
because I feel like at the end, like I feel like there's just such a thin line with white people because it's like. If they say, well, I only date black women, it's like, oh, you're just fetishizing. Or if I only date Asian women, I'm just fetishizing. So I feel like they're stuck with kind of having to be open to dating everyone, which I feel like that's just not realistic.
I know, but
it's not realistic.
It is not realistic. What I'm saying is the reason why they're also found in that situation, it's a small price to pay. Compared to what other races have to pay. And it's come from their historical background. You know? It just comes from their historical background and their historical background with women of all races. You look at black men historically, white men historically with indigenous women. Yeah. It's a story of rape and torture. Yeah. You talk about white men and black women historically, it's a story of rape and torture. You talk about white men and Asian women historically, and it is rape and torture, and it is a fetishizing of Asian women. So because of the history, I'm not saying if you're a white man right now, that is what you think, but I'm just saying the historical context of the interactions between white men and women of other races has always been negative. Yeah. Mostly. And that's that baggage that you're carrying when you're now dating in 2020. Do you know what I mean? Anything you say can easily fall into racism. I wasn't offended because I was like, yeah, sure.
You go ahead and do that.
Yeah, like I didn't. But his other white friends who were sitting there felt offended.
I'm like, yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's not as a big of a deal, but yeah, I can definitely see where, you know, people might feel some type of way. At the end of the day, you know, just don't say stupid shit and, you know.
Just and I feel like that's when I say for white men, you just have a what's it called? I'm thinking of the word in French right now. Duty to educate yourself on racial issues. Not just with black women, but just in other women in general. Again, because of that story. Because we have to live with it. We're living with the consequences. Yeah. Your consequence is that you have to educate yourself. That's it. So that even if when you say things like that, you're able to justify yourself. Because like, you know enough.
I can see from certain people that I know, like, if your parents are racist, please do not date anyone from another race. Please don't.
And even if you even if you are not racist, don't do the whole. Don't listen to my parents. I love you. We can do this.
Or your boyfriend doesn't meet your parents for like 2 years and then.
And you never tell them, and then they meet, and all of a sudden it's a whole.
That's happened so many times. He's dead or she's dead,
or you get ostracized. Yep. And then your kids are ostracized. And you might be fine with that, but you don't know what the repercussions are going to be on your children later because they will learn it sooner or later. Grandpa and grandma don't love me. Yep. Because I've seen people, I told you that my friend was Moroccan and has a grandfather who's black. To this day, she lives the repercussions of that because she's still called a Negro by her grandmother from the other side. because she has this one drop of blackness in her.
Yep.
So whether you can see it now or it's gonna come out later, because this is 2 generations later, it will have an effect on your children, and it's gonna hurt them, and it's gonna have an effect on their self-esteem. So just from that point onwards, if you know your parents are racist and you have not cut, which you shouldn't do with your parents, regardless of who they. For me, I believe that it takes a lot. We were gonna have a whole debate on this, but for me, I'm one of those people who feel like parents are very sacred, and even when they're funke as hell, there's a minimum of respect that they all deserve.
I believe if you feel like it comes to a point where, you know, it's too much, that you need to cut them off, then cut them off completely.
I feel like it's because you've seen more extreme cases than I did.
I've seen more extreme cases.
But we can talk about this later and the cultural impacts of that. But what I'm saying is, let's say if your parents are not completely cut off in your life, which means literally the chances of them meeting your children or grandchildren later in life are slim to none. Yeah. If that's not the case, don't date or marry.
That case, they're dead.
Yeah. Like
if your parents are having passed away, you know, God forbid, but the parents have passed away, and you know,
don't date someone of a racial background that you know,
or you know it's gonna, or you know yourself, you're not willing to even learn about, you know, another culture, or do all that stuff. Then you know, just leave it be.
Don't. But yeah, don't date someone who isn't woke, and is not willing to learn, because there is a difference between saying insensitive things from time to time. And it's like, hey, because all men are like that. All men I know have said something at some point or another that was sexist. But what differentiated who I stayed friends with and who I cut off was, were you willing to sit down and listen and learn from your mistakes and not make those mistakes again? If you're being stubborn, yelling over me, and not answering and not like arguing back with facts. And insisting on your feelings. I told you, I'm one of those people, when people start affected with, I feel like when I'm having a debate about facts, I am out. Because it's not about how you feel. This is about the facts.
No.
Anyways, so we answered the first question. You would not date someone who isn't woke.
Period.
So would you date interracially? We kind of touched into this.
No.
Long story short, we both would not.
No.
For a array of reasons.
Big array of reasons.
That we will break down.
I think
anyone who's listening to this, who's going into your comments to say racism, open your ears.
Open your hearts.
Open your ears.
Open your pockets.
Pull out your antenna. And listen.
Please.
Before you write anything.
Thank you.
Okay. Go.
Well, for me, again, for some people, I'm not speaking for all, I'm just speaking for myself. My culture is my identity. I wear my culture like I wear my name. It is ingrained into every single part of me that you can see.
So you feel like if you were dating someone who's not of your culture, you would have to
lose some of it? I have to either lose some of it or change or adapt to fit your culture in. And I don't want to do that. I don't
adapt to fit your culture in. I think that's a very key point. Because I've heard people who are interracial date, like relationships or marriages will tell me, well, the reason why I feel fine with dating him is because I never feel like I have to adapt to him. Yeah. But you do have to integrate his culture into yours. It doesn't mean that you have to water down yours. Yeah. But it does mean that you have to make space for their culture.
When it comes to like, you know, with African or Caribbean or any type of, you know, within the Black realm, there's a lot of similarities where we can meet in the middle. Yeah, we can really compromise and meet in the middle and find common ground.
And just because we have the same struggles too, it helps a lot.
So it's like I can't be with someone where, you know, I feel like
again you have to explain.
I have to explain everything. I'm gonna be like, this is this that. I can't. I don't have that energy in me to be telling you all the time how to do something. Or this is how things are supposed to go. Or, you know, what if you don't like some of my cultural things? Then what?
What do we do?
Or I don't like some of your cultural things, or I want to wait, because, like, you know, when you have mixed kids, especially when you're mixed with Black, that child is going to be seen as Black first. Most 9 times out of 10, unless that kid literally looks like white, like Halsey, then that kid is going to be seen as Black first and foremost before anything else.
And that's and if you are not Black, Well, even if you're willing to educate yourself, what I'm saying is, because there are some white parents, like we even saw that woman on YouTube who was making this videos of taking care of her black daughter's hair, and she actually knows her shit. Yeah. Like she's very on her game.
Yeah.
Even if the person is very willing to learn and grow. My thing is, why would I put myself in that struggle?
Yeah.
Because there's a gap to fill. And it comes down to, are you willing or do you have the patience to fill that gap? It is possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. There's a difference between what possibilities exist and your willingness
to do it.
You know? Here our issue is with our willingness to do it. We're not willing. We're not willing to have the patience to teach somebody. And it's not out of hate. It's just I'm going to choose what's most comfortable for me. Being in a relationship has a lot of hurdles.
For me, it's tiredness.
It's tiredness. What I'm saying.
Tiredness.
Relationships are tiring. Period. Tired. Even when you have the same culture, you come from the same country, you have the same background. You are still different people, and you're still gonna butt heads on everyday things. And just that, it takes a lot of work to fix. So if you want to add on top of that a difference of culture and race, it is a lot.
And I beg.
And please. I don't think any man on this earth is worth black or white or Asian. No matter that type of effort from me. Like I just don't. I would rather go find someone where it's simpler. It's gonna have its own problems, but I'm not gonna add that to the mix. Exactly. That's just me. One. So it's a problem of, first of all, we're not willing.
We're not willing. And two, I like food. I like my jollof. I like my egusi. I like my fish. I like my gizzards. I like all my cultural foods. I love that. I want to even learn how to cook more of it. If I had to be cooking pasta and be cooking, I don't know, shepherd's pie, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy. I want to explore into my culture even more, and I can't do that when I have to also share time with another person's culture.
And teach them.
And teach them as well. I mean,
once you have children, they have a right to teaching their own culture to their child. And that means your children's culture, a lot of people say, yes, they can coexist. They can't. There are certain things in different cultures that just butt head. There are no cultures that can merge perfectly into a middle ground. There is, in such a separate cultures, you're not going to find a perfect middle ground. Someone is going to have to give out more than the other. And for me, here's my thing. I've explained it to a lot of white friends, because I have a friend who the first time I said I don't date white person got very defensive, got mad, whatnot. But then when he calmed down and we sat down and talked about it, and also there was an incident where he dated a girl and he didn't know his parents were racist. And he called and he said, they asked him where the woman was from. Yeah. And she said from the islands, from the Mauritius Islands. They lost their shit.
Really?
They lost it. This man was red because he didn't know the level of racism
that his parents
had. And he was the one telling me, no, love, and it doesn't matter. Just, you know what I mean? Like, any borders. And I'm like, do you see now? Do you see now? I am not even willing to start to put myself in that type of situation. Or even be stressed about how your parents are going to feel. Exactly. Or trying to look for the subtle changes of racism. Or
I have to, change myself to go meet your parents.
I cannot. Code switch to go see your parents. I cannot. I cannot, and I will not.
Love me and all my blackness.
Every inch of it. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, we have an issue.
Exactly.
We have an issue right there. So first of all, he started there, and then I explained it to him. I broke it down. I was like, first of all, for you, when you say you're not gonna date, because he's French. Yeah. French people are known, I'm sorry, to have more racism. And they do it in your face, which I appreciate. I appreciate
it's up front.
It's up front in my face,
so you can avoid
no problem.
it.
I can avoid it, or we can discuss. I'm willing to discuss from time to time. Not always though. Don't try me on certain days, but I'm willing to discuss from time to time your racism. But the point is, he's French, and I was telling him, you know that in your country, most of the time when one of your male friends says, "I'm not gonna date someone who's black," you know he's racist. Yeah, let's just be real. It's just me and you here. Let's be honest. It's coming from a place of racism, of prejudice, and misconceptions. Yep. When I say I'm not dating someone who's white or my parents are against it, it's a protection.
Yeah.
It's a defense mechanism for what we went through.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to tell you the first, what's it called, argument my parents and my family have when they're against that is your children.
Yeah.
How are your children going to be perceived? You know, it's the first instinct is we want your children and you to be safe. Exactly. It's always coming from a place of self-preservation. So I was like, first of all, so the context of it is different. Because I was just telling her, I was like, my dad lived in a time where people were openly racist. So he lives with that baggage, and he's like, you're gonna bring a white mutt into my house?
Hell
but that's not, if when your dad says it like that, it means they are inferior. I'm not gonna have those people into my house.
It's coming from a place of experience.
Yes, but no, I'm saying when your white dad says it, it's coming from a place of hate. You know, if your dad says word for word, I will not have a black person into my house, you know it's racism.
It is.
But when my dad says the same exact word, because the context is different, it's coming from a place of preservation. Because he lives so much racism, he's like, my grandchildren, not on this earth, over my dead body. It is not happening. You bringing cool? Ha! You're funny. So first of all, that context is different. Second of all, for me, the area reasons a lot. One, we talk about unwillingness to teach, bridge the gap, do all this education stuff. If people are willing for love, do it. Me, I'm a person who, first of all, I do not believe in marriage for love. That is a whole other discussion. But I do not believe in marriage. I'm not saying that you should marry someone you don't love. That's where people get confused. You should love the person you marry. But I'm saying love should never be the foundation of a marriage. That is my opinion. Because I feel like love is frivolous.
I feel like
it's literally a hormone.
I know, but
that comes
at
and
the same
goes.
Time, I feel like love can be the foundation, but love and etc.
No. For me, love cannot. You know why? Because love is blind.
Yes.
Let's be real. You can love anybody. You can fall in love with a serial killer.
Yes.
You can fall in love with an abusive man. You can fall in love with the asshole and the scum of the earth. Because love is not discerning.
Yes.
So once you start with love, you're already being illogical. Yes, if it's the start, if it's the get-go,
it's because of how we have defined love and how this society has showed what love is to be. Once you redefine that, you shape it to how you need it to be, then you can have love as a foundation. Right?
But love, when I say love as a foundation, I mean it can be the beginning of a relationship. Because love that starts at the beginning of a relationship can't be the actual love that can make a relationship work. No. Because the actual love that can make a relationship work takes a lot of knowing each other, a lot of learning each other, and a lot of growing into each other. That's if it's just the first 2 months you've been together and you're in love, that is not the love that can be the foundation of a marriage. That's
what you need to also do. You also need to break apart what it means to love someone. And that's a whole other conversation.
Well, but this whole other conversation, but like just from what we know, Hollywood, how we were raised, what we know, when someone says I'm in love, 9 times out of 10, the reason why our divorce rates are going up and up,
it's because it was infatuation.
It was infatuation, and we call it love. So I'm saying if it's the get-go of a relationship and you're going, well, I love him, so he's not woke, but I'm gonna work for it.
And I'm like, okay.
That's just not a thing for me. For me, I look at the boxes very objectively first, and then I go, let me see if I can like you.
I will look at love, but through my love, I'm going to go through all these certain things.
For me, it's more of a, like, I check, once I see all the boxes, like, you are a person who fits these characteristics of who I think would make a good partner. I'm like someone who's picking someone for the team. You know, when you do sports, who's getting drafted and who's not getting drafted, that's me. I look at all the signs and then I see, am I attracted to you? Because there are people, I've learned this because I used to not know this. I used to be like, okay, if you check all my boxes, I can be attracted to you. But I've seen people who check a lot of the boxes, but I'm just not attracted. Yeah. Like, I could be having the same conversation with them as with someone else, and I'd be bored out of my mind if I'm talking to them. So attraction is a thing that you feel for certain people and you don't feel for certain people. Yeah. So for me, it's more of a, if I'm attracted to you, and you fit the characteristic of what I believe would make a good partner for me. Yeah. Now I am willing to grow, and nurture love between us. So for me, it's never a starting point. But that's a personal thing. It's just how I work and how I function. Because different people love differently and function differently. That is also just a reality. But the point is, so for me, beginning from the point where I do not fall in love, I have never been in love. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't put myself in that situation, the moment I start feeling something weird and I don't know you, I run the other way. That I'm like, you will not see me. You'll see the dust in my wig. I will run the other way. So because I'm like that, I would never see someone who I already can see all the things that are going to go wrong and still go let me work for it, because there's no incentive. Because I'm not in love. There's no incentive for me. So I'm like, why would I?
That's less to do with love and more just knowing about what you want.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's one of the first reasons why I would not date someone who's white, because I can already see all the things that are going to go wrong, and I have no incentive for wanting to stay there and fix them. I can find a black person who'll be as great as you, and I don't have to go through all that.
Exactly.
Well, that's because we're in Canada. In the States, it's different. We could talk about this on another podcast. But in the States,
it's almost the same.
No, because when I was doing my research for my end of year project next year, I already saw that the rate of black women who are married and non-married in Canada and the States are very different. They're way higher in the States. They're almost double that number because of mass incarceration.
Yes.
So the amount of black women who are not even able to get a partner of their race
is higher.
Is way higher in the States because of mass incarceration. So even having access to,
more talking about like guys around our age and a little bit older, and in terms of like who they want to marry.
Yeah.
that's a whole different
But in terms of access in the United States, it's harder.
Yeah.
Just because of market incarceration and a lot of things that go on in there. But that's, first of all, one of the first reasons why I wouldn't date. Second of all, I'm the type of person who's pro-black. And pro-black has very different shapes and forms. I believe, because I heard
we have been radicalized into the pro-blackness.
But it's different people. Because I've heard a man who was dead ass like, if you are married to someone who's not black, you are not pro-black.
Yes.
I used to believe that, but now I can see that sometimes not always true. Because there are people like the Jordan Peels, of the world, who work and do a lot of work sometimes more than some black men who are married to black women, let's be real, about black issues. So I can't say you're not pro-black.
I'll just say it's a conflict of interest. Like when we got to that section where we're checking your pro-blackness, we're like, ooh.
This is a conflict of interest.
We're sucker this.
Why is it a conflict of interest? For me, I'm looking at the economic factor. Black people need to learn how to build wealth.
Exactly.
You can go read the books and listen to the TED Talks and whatnot. That's also a whole other subject we can't go into. But the black community, our biggest problem is that our dollars don't circulate between us. Nope, so our biggest issue is building wealth. So if you reach a certain level of wealth and money and you marry whites,
then that money is just going back into the
white community. And you could make your children pro-black, but because you marry someone white, you can't tell your children to not marry someone white.
Because you marry someone white.
And now they're married to someone white. Where's that money going now? It's being redirected. And you live in a world where just aesthetically and what's the news shows go on Netflix right now. All the couples where there's a black woman, she's dating a white man.
Yep. Everyone's dating interracially
That's what they're selling to your children. So your whatever economic wealth you built is gonna leave the community if you marry outside of your race. That's just how I feel. For me, when I'm pro-black, I'm meaning to build wealth and build a community and rebuild the black family.
Exactly.
And the power and the stability it used to have. That's why pro-black. So that is contradictory
to marry
someone white. And that is specific to me. Asian. Anyone from who's not black.
Basically.
And for me, sometimes it even narrows down to someone from my country because I do want to go back and build a lot there. And there are just certain people who wouldn't understand those sacrifices I'd be willing or won't be willing to make them with me if they don't have that same type of drive that I do. So that applies to me. Because I have friends who understand this for me and are like, yes, for you, if you brought someone white, I'd be like, what is going on? Because it's very contradictory to who you are.
Exactly. Even
if they would date someone white. I have friends who are who are black, who are currently dating someone white. And they totally respect my view of things. They're like, for you, the things you want to do with your life, it would be so contradictory to see you tomorrow coming here and be like, hello, here's Brad. Like, it would make no sense. So that's why we say we would not date interracial. It doesn't mean we hate white men.
No, or any other men.
Or any other men of any other race. You see me here with my K-pop. I'm here like, y'all cute as hell.
Crazy Rich Asians. Mwah.
That man is fine.
Exactly.
Ooh.
What's his face? What's his name?
I watch a lot of K-drama. So when I said I cannot be physically attracted to white people, that does not translate to Asians. Would I date them now? No. But can I find them fine?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a yes and an amen.
Uh-huh.
Both at the same time. But yeah, in general, it's just less to do about, your race and more to do with like my race and what my personal goals are and how I want to conduct myself and my kids in the future.
Yeah.
So
it's more of a like the type of family we want to build where we see ourselves in a couple of years, which is going to segue into the next point. And just the type of community we want to build. Yeah. So we have nothing against men of other races. It's more about our goals are not aligned.
Exactly.
In the same ways.
Or I'm not going to make you,
Yes. And I've had people who give me the argument, what if you find a white man who's already educated, already I'm like, they exist. I'm not saying they don't exist. Yes. I'm saying the chances are so small. It's easier for me when I'm throwing my net to fall into something that I want, to throw it towards the side where there's a black man and because what are the chances I'm going to stumble on that? I'm not telling you they don't exist. I'm just telling you it is very, very unlikely.
If you find him, you can bring him until the time.
I'll be looking over here. Thank you. So we were segueing to where we see ourselves in a couple of years. So that's where it comes down to, would you date down? What does that mean? It could be economical. It could be level of maturity. It could be not even where you are right now, but what you're willing to achieve by the time you reach a certain age. So, would you do that?
No, but maybe. No, but maybe.
Okay.
Because...
Explain.
No, because it's just, for me, I'm an Aries. I have the fire. It's not actual fire. It's fake fire. But I have the fire. She has the fire. I have the fake fire.
It burns the whole block.
I'm just a campfire. I'm nice. Okay?
If you stay at a good distance, you're safe.
Exactly. I would toast your marshmallows, make you some s'mores. We're cool. We're chill.
Cool. Yeah.
But for me, I just I have a passion for things. And I can flip-flop, but I mostly stay in one direction. So for me, I see endless possibilities. And I'm open. I'm open to you maybe not knowing exactly where you are, but if I feel like you don't want to know where you want to go, and you're not it's like I'm driving down the 401 and I'm just switching between lanes. Yeah. You're trying to go to the QEW, the 412, the 407, and I'm like, you need to stay
still.
Stay in one highway.
Like, stay in one general area.
Yeah. Please. Because if you're flip-flopping,
that means you're not serious.
Exactly.
Because I told you, from all the interracial books I read from people who became successful in their lives, they tell you the key points of being successful is to pinpoint exactly where you want to go. What you can be flexible with is how you're going to get there. But the goal in itself can't be wavering, because then you're spreading your energy in different places.
Exactly.
And you're not going to be able to get there because you're trying to do 5 things at a time. Like, it's like the guy who was telling you, I want to be a millionaire by this age. What do you want to do? It's 5 different business plans that you can't even make them intertwine one way or another.
Exactly.
It's like no.
You don't really have, like, you have ambition but no drive.
Yes.
It's like you get your car with no engine. You're not going to go anywhere. All this is just talk.
And that's what women go, he has potential. I'm like, he does not have potential.
He just has a light bulb. He has yet to screw it in.
So, and he probably will never, because he doesn't even realize what is wrong with his way of thinking at this moment.
That's why, a lot of you guys who are in business, don't just say you're in business. Yes. What are you planning to do with that?
What business? Also, when you say I want to be wealthy, how wealthy? Because we've discussed this. The definition of wealthy is very different
for different people.
And so when you say I'm wealthy, how wealthy are we talking? Are we talking about world dominating? Are we talking about Bill Gates money? Are we talking about I'll be fine if I'm a millionaire? What type of millionaire? Are we talking the 100 millions or 10 millions?
Are we talking about the single digits?
Yes,
I'm fine with that personally. I come to that fruition that I'm fine with being.
You're wealthy.
And when
we say wealthier, we're talking about money, because wealth can be broken down into many things. But here we're talking about specifically economic wealth.
Yeah.
So that's different. So depending on what you want to reach, your goals are going to be different, and how you're going to set them are going to be different. So for me specifically, I would not, for many reasons. First of all, maturity. I've been very mature my whole life.
Yeah.
And that has created for me more troubles than good things. But the point is, I've always been mature. And I have always been friends with people who are way older than me. I told you I have friends who are 7 years old.
Yes, I know.
So I know that I cannot live with somebody who doesn't have the same level of maturity. But we can intertwine these two things at the same time.
Yes.
I do not associate maturity with age. Because I have seen people who are 27 and are 12-year-olds.
Yes.
And I've seen men who are 17, 18, 19 who are very driven. I told you about that boy who's 17 who's already a millionaire.
Yeah.
That man has drive, maturity, knows where he's going. Could be a father figure in a family right now, and he's 17.
Yes.
So I do not associate maturity with age. And for me, I'm attracted to maturity, so it doesn't matter what age form it comes, what state of life it comes into. Now, it does matter what age you're at that moment. You can't be 15 dating someone who's 25 and talking about, maturity. That's just illegal.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Don't try it.
But
we'll come for you.
But what I'm saying is, once you reach an age where you can give consent, I don't care if someone I'm dating is like 10 years, 15, 20 years older than me.
I care.
Yeah, we're gonna go into that, but we're just mentioning it now. We'll close up with that. But here we're supposed to talk about dating down. So one, I wouldn't do it for those reasons. Second of all, I am an African girl, and let's just be real. African men have an ego. Why? It's how they were raised.
Yes.
They were raised with this idea that you are the man of the family, you are the provider, and that is your identity. That's who you are.
Yeah.
So when you take that away from them, they feel useless. Because I've seen it happen. Because I used to be like, that's just your ego, but I'm realizing that it's not just ego. It's really they were told they were socialized as to tell that your role
in life,
the very essence of your existence is being a provider.
That's it.
So once you take that away from them, they have nothing left. They're looking at you like, what I'm supposed to do. And even when you tell them, I love you for you, they're like, what do you mean?
Yes, but also you have to realize that sometimes, there's a difference between letting the man take on his role, but also not diminishing you as who you are. But and making him the sole provider of everything.
Yes.
Get your education. Get your own money. Because
the men
him.
from the 1950s and the 2020 ones are very different.
Yes.
Walk into university right now, the majority of people in like fields that will potentially make money later are women.
Yep.
I was in my lab last time and the teacher said, come over here, girls. And I was like, girls? And there are boys here. I turned around. There are 2 boys. We are 28 people in that room.
Jeez.
I was like, ew. It is that bad.
There are more girls
Turn around in any of your class in general.
Than boys now.
So I'm saying, the reality of the things is a lot of women are going to be making a lot more money than men. Exactly. So y'all need to come to that realization and just accept it. We don't care.
We don't care.
You take it and put it on top of your head. We don't care. Now, when do I care? I don't care if I make more money than you because I want so much money, it's ridiculous. So if I want to be a millionaire, and I'm talking about the hundreds of millions.
Yep.
And I every single day I'm trying to figure out that she knows me. I'm always talking about how do you make money, how do you read this book, how do you figure this out. I'm actively working.
I don't care.
Yes, yeah.
Good
I'm
for you.
actively working towards having that type of money. And now, does that mean I need to marry someone who also has 100 million? No. But you should have enough to be able to take care of a family. Have a stable job.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like have into the 200,000 a year where you can take care. Because I'm not going to be the only provider for our children either. So have enough that I can be like you. Dad has a stable job. He's able to take care of his family.
Yes. Or align yourself with someone who matches that. Whether you guys wouldn't do 50-50 or you only want him to pay or she's fine with only paying. Just find someone who aligns with your goals within a marriage.
And your
style of parenting.
Yeah. Yes.
Find someone who aligns that. So if you want to be a house dad, find you a trophy wife. Find you a wife who's going to go work that 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, find yourself
a guy who wants to be the sole provider and whatnot, and y'all will find each other.
And if you guys want to go 50-50, then find someone who's 50-50. Don't mix someone to someone that they're not.
The thing is, I don't believe in 50-50 because a lot of men were not trained. Let's just be real. Especially black men were not trained to be able to do 50-50. It will be 50-50 on the financial aspects, yes, because we have learned to work.
Yes, 50-50. But when I'm talking about, I'm only talking about financial. I'm not talking about,
but the thing is, for me, when I say 50-50, if it's financial, for me, the only reason why I understand a man who solely provides is because women, we give a lot of services that are not remunerated, that we're not paid for. Because we do 70 to 80% of the housework. Even
the
women,
unpaid
housework.
Yes.
Even women who feel like their spouses are helping them, statistics show that they're still doing at least 70% of the housework.
Yes.
Because it's just how we were socialized. And with black men specifically, they were not trained to be able to, at every level in a marriage, do 50-50. So for me, knowing that you can't. For me, it's just a thing that you don't know how to put on a diaper. I'll have to teach you all of this.
50-50 in air quotes.
50-50 in air quotes. So for me, because the 50-50 cannot be applied to everything, you will be the main provider. Because on top of working, I'm taking care of this house and these babies. I am getting pregnant and pushing a human baby out of me. You cannot do that.
No,
can you do that for me?
No.
Can you bring that to the table? Can you bring that to the table?
Maybe when they create the artificial womb.
But so far we have not. So the moment you're able to do that for me, we can talk about 50-50. Until then,
60-40, 70-30.
Thank you very much. It's not 50-50 because you cannot complete what's going to make your 50 complete. You cannot. So for me, it doesn't work. But the point is, as long as you have drive within your field and you have enough to stably to take care, have a family that'll be well taken care of, even if I'm not present. I don't care that I'm making more money than you. What I have an issue with, you cannot be making $25,000 a year and making $250,000 a year. That's an issue.
That's an issue. Because then there will come jealousy.
Because we can't do 50-50, first of all.
Insecurity.
So I'm doing most of the work. Yep. You're going to feel insecure.
You're going to feel
I'm
jealous.
I'm going to have to boost your ego or stifle my shine, which I cannot do. I am incapable of. I have been told this. My dad was like, yes, like you look at your aunt. So my matron, the woman I was named after, she's very successful, but she knows how to play down. I'm like, that's good for her.
That's not me.
I can't do that.
That's not me.
I cannot. So for me, I cannot date down when it comes to maturity or financial levels. No, I can financially, but as long as you are driven and you have enough to take care of a family. I'm not asking you to be a millionaire. That's why just have enough to take care of a family.
I said maybe because I understand that, again, I'm privileged compared to a lot of other black people. I grew up with money. I grew up with both parents working and still working and still making quite a lot of money. So I feel like depending on where you're starting at, because again, we're not all starting at the same. Not all starting at exactly at the start. Sometimes some of us started a little bit far behind. Some of us started above it. So
some people are just not looking for what you're looking for
at the same time.
And for me, when it comes to finances, you don't need to be looking for what I'm looking for, because I know that I'm looking for what like 1% of the population is looking for.
Exactly.
So I'm not gonna put that in my list of prerequisites. Most women who I know
you because
you don't
not exactly,
and most women I know would not. I know a lot of women who are like, honestly, as long as you have enough to take care of yourself and take care of a family, and you're not depending on me, I don't care that I'm making more money than you. I like a man. You say that, but you don't. I'm like, you don't. Who are you? A woman?
Nope.
We are telling you this, but you won't believe it, and that's you shooting yourself in the foot. We tell you we do not care.
Like, we could literally,
as long as you're able to take care of yourself, we do not care. I can't be your baby mama. I'm not your baby mama. You're sugar mama. I can't be your sugar mama. But if you're able to take care of yourself, you're financially dependent, and I'm making a little bit more than you. That's water in the bridge.
My biggest prerequisite out of every single thing is cooking. If you do not know how to cook, leave my sites. Leave my sites. Leave the premises. Leave the earth. For all I care. Leave it.
That's all.
Leave it. I need a man who can cook.
What if they learn? Well, you can't teach someone how to cook. I can't teach someone because
I will bully you. I'm going to be that honest. I will bully you. I will bully you physically. I will bully you cyberly. I will bully you. That's how I learned. That's how my mom taught me how to cook. So that's how I'm going to teach other people how to cook. I've been capable of just telling you, oh yeah, it tastes okay. If your food tastes like shit, I'm telling you it tastes like fucking shit. And now we have to eat this for the rest of the week. So try again.
No.
So you just need to know how to cook.
I actually do not care.
I love food. Again, I said this before, I love food. So I need us both to be on that.
It's for me, it's a bonus. Like, if you can, yes, but
for
if
me,
you can't,
it's a prerequisite. It's a mandate. You have to cook. if you don't know how to cook, I don't know how this is gonna work.
Jeez.
I can't be up here, Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen, and you're like who?
What if he tries to help? He's like, I'll cut the onions.
Hell
I'll
no.
do the tomatoes.
No, you need to make me a dish.
Jesus.
We're alternating.
Ah.
I make you something, you make me something. It's back and forth. I don't
See,
do that.
people, when I say you need to find each other,
Please.
you have to find someone who fits. You know why people are divorcing? Y'all do not sit down and actually be honest about who you are.
Yep.
If there are things that you know you cannot deal with, don't wait until you're so deeply in love that you don't care until you care. Be like, that's not something I can deal with, period.
Exactly.
I will not negotiate it.
Exactly.
There's no angle. I'm not going to change you. There's no maybe you're going to learn. Stand in your shit. You can't cook. I don't want it.
Please, get out of my sight.
For me, I don't care. So if you can't cook, you don't go for Sarah. Sarah will slap you.
I will.
Go find someone who actually does not care. Jeez.
Yeah. And don't say, oh, I can cook and all you can make is fucking pasta and burgers.
I know a lot of Senegalese men. You're like,
you.
can you cook? They'll be like, yes. What can you cook?
I
can make eggs.
And I hate when they always like you talk to them and everything's going good and then they hit you with like, can you cook? Do you know how to cook? Do you know how to cook traditional food? And I'm like, do you see me? Do I not come with a vagina? I know how to cook. Shut up.
Well, when you come from an African family,
First
you
born
know how
girls,
you know how to cook.
Firstborn girls know how to cook.
You know how to cook. You know how to clean the house, whether you want it or not.
So that was stamped. I was branded with that from birth. Anyways, that's question.
And then the last one was, this is the one. This we could make a whole podcast about this, but let's make the shortened version of this.
Okay.
Since we're talking about dating, age.
Yes.
We had like a 3-hour debate on this one time.
Yes.
Because this man was like, no, you do not date people who are older or younger than you. This girl calls herself a cradle snatcher when she dates someone who's 6 months younger.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
But my views have changed slightly.
Okay.
So
tell us what you used to believe and how your views have changed.
I used to believe that like you have a good, 2 years to 3 to 4 years older and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all you got. That's at the 4-year range. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's from grade 9 to 12. That range. Mm-hmm. Anything else, I said hell to the no. Mm-hmm. Hell no, ma'am, no, sir. Mm-hmm. Now, my views have changed because I realized, that there was a hidden bias within that, but it's a valid. It's pretty valid. It's a pretty valid bias, and now I've now changed it to. It's fine. It's fine to date. As a woman, I'm talking from women's perspective. It's fine to date someone who's older than you. It's fine to date someone who's younger than you. But my word of advice is to know yourself. Because one thing that will always be constant is change.
Yeah.
And know that you are forever changing. I'm saying the first year when you come out of high school and you're into university, you will change. Yeah. I am not the same person that I was first year. I'm not that person from first year is not the same person from high school.
Yes.
And this person is not going to be the same for third year or fourth year.
If you're the same person, it means you're not evolving. And that's not good.
And that's not good. So don't listen to...
It doesn't mean you change. It means you evolve. And what you were able, the type of bullshit you were able to deal with or accept at a certain age is very different from what you're able to deal with. So, I've never taken bullshit at any age. I'm like...
For me, we used an example of this girl. She was 17 at the time or 16 at the time. And this 50-year-old man, he looks 50. He looks 60. I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. A 50-year-old man saw her and her grandma at the grocery stores. And he was hitting on her. And she lied about her age and said that she was 18 and they got into a romantic relationship. And eventually he found out that she was actually underage.
And he stopped it.
Until
she was of age.
They continued the relationship.
After she was of age.
When she turned 18. And now she has 2 kids with him. And she's 18 or 19.
Yeah.
I believe.
So you were strongly like, fuck that.
I strongly said no. But for me... It was about the age, but I can
also
now
bias.
And bias, but now I can kind of rationalize it more, and it's more to do with just again the change, and the change and the evolution, and just robbing you of that. Because when you're in such a serious if you want to be in a relationship, then fine. If you're gonna be married and now you have kids, you're 18. This man has lived his life,
but the thing
and has made his mistakes and made his changes and done his evolution. He's done. Yeah. He's done evolving at this point. He's not really. He's not really, but he's pretty much knows who he is. When you're 18 and you're thinking about you're getting really serious with a guy who's like, he's in his 20s or he's in his 30s, and he's pretty much kind of like, selling into the same routines, slowly evolving. It's not going to be as rapid as you are. That is very dangerous.
The thing is, for me, there's also a cultural aspect to this, is that we've grown up in different backgrounds. Yes. Here in Canada, I see how that can be like, but I come from a country where that is very common. That's not rare. Okay? So, and also most of the women who I know who are very with it.
It's again, when you bring in the culture thing, guys in Senegal are not the same guys as here in North America.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. There's a cultural aspect of it different. So how men and women interact, what their cultural backgrounds are, everything
and
is
what
changing.
you're allowed to do, and what things you can
and this idea of life and its steps and what you're missing and not missing is also different. Because in my country, I wouldn't do it. My parents wouldn't even let me do it. Yes. But I've seen people who married very early, had children, and it didn't stop them in any way from reaching their goals. Yes. Because they had that partner who was there and whatnot. So it didn't stop them from making their mistakes and living. Like, it wasn't a stop to what they were supposed to do. I have a friend who currently got married when she was 19, has a daughter who's like now 5, and she's currently in med school. Yes. And she's doing great. And the dad, since he has more freedom, takes care of that baby, and they're doing great. And so it's not stopping her from living her life in shape, way, or form. Actually, she's told me it's giving her more support. Yes. Into you know what I mean, growing into what she wants to do. So for seeing it happen and seeing it be successful, I know that there are some people who it doesn't put a stop to anything. In Canada, I haven't seen it be successful, so I can't talk to that because I have not interacted a lot with Canadian men, whether they're black or white. That's just not. It's not even the people I'm around most of the time. Well, I am, but that's not the type of people who I date or have that type of relationship with. So I don't know how they think or how they interact or how that dynamic will go. So just from what I've known, I've seen it work. It's not that I would do it, but I'm saying I've seen it work. For me, though, as an adult, like right now, I'm not dating. Because again, I've said that for me, dating goes into marriage. And I am not getting married anytime soon. Because I have way too many things that I want to do that I know I can't do. Not because I'm married. For me, the issue is when you're attached to somebody, your decisions are swayed by them. Yeah. That's your reality. Let's say I'm applying to med school next year and I'm in love with somebody. Based on the fact that I love them, I'm going to try and be accepted or go to somewhere that's closer to them, even if it's not the best choice for me in the long run, just because, that strong feeling of I want to be around you. Yeah. Whereas now I'm a free agent. I could be accepted into the yeehaw states of America. I would not care because there's no one holding me back. So for me, it's more that once I grow into what I want and I feel like I've gotten pretty close to my goals, then I can shackle myself with somebody. I'm not saying it's a something that brings you down, but I'm just saying it does limit your movements to be attached to somebody. Yes. So that's me. It's more of a personal thing. That's why I don't date. But the point is, if I get to that point where I want to date, I don't care how much older or younger the person is.
By the time you want to date, you'll already be at the stage where it's like you're evolving slowly now. Yes. So.
Well, I've seen people evolve in drastic ways between
midlife crises, early life crises. Yes, that still happens. There are always going to be exceptions, but in general.
But it doesn't let's say I'm 26. Yes. A man who's 46 will be in a very different stage of his life. Yes. I wouldn't care. As long as we can navigate that.
And for me, that's fine. Yeah. I'm more fine with that. I'm talking about when you're in your early.
But you would not do that.
I would not do that. We're
talking about each of us if we care about age. What I'm saying is for me, you're like, screw that.
First of all, I'm not going to be attracted to someone who's 46 when I'm 26. No, ma'am.
You don't know that.
I can't.
You don't know that.
I can't. That dick is already shriveled.
No.
Bye. That dick is shriveled. Get out of here. Yeah. Your eggs are fried. Your sperm is less swimmy. No. Bye.
I've known men who had children at 50 who were very
healthy. I just don't want to see your shriveled dick. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I don't want to see that.
This girl is not.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see your dick have wrinkles, please.
Ma'am, black don't crack. You can see a 46-year-old and
don't. You have not seen a penis, please. Don't talk about that.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you saying you would not be attracted to someone for 46. There are people who you would not know they're 46 until they told you.
Even so, once they tell me, I'll be like, get out.
But you just said you can't be attracted. You could already be attracted and you don't know they're 46.
If I don't know, but if I do know, and if I can tell, I think I can tell because I'm black. I can tell.
Not always. I've seen people where it's like...
I can tell.
Pharrell Williams, that man is a vampire. If I couldn't go... If I...
not attractive.
No.
Pharrell Williams looks like a rat to me. I'm sorry. He looks like a rat to me. We're
attacking people now.
I'm sorry.
He's a very cute man. Leave the man alone.
He looks like a rat.
The point is, if I couldn't Google his age right now, and I saw this man, I would not know that he's that old. Because he don't age in age. But what I'm saying is, there are people who, when you look at them,
there are people who can bamboozle.
You can't tell. They can bamboozle.
In general, I don't want to be attracted to a 46-year-old.
Anyways, on this one, we do not agree. She would never date someone who's 2 years older than her already. You're crossing a line.
I'm already dating someone who's 4 years older than me.
Yes, that's because you have changed a lot.
That's because I've changed and I've seen like, okay, I can deal with it because again, we're on the same wavelength right now. But
that's what I'm saying. You can't be on the same wavelength with someone who's 10 years older than you.
I know, but for me, I'm avoid it because again, it's just for me because I've been in a situation where it's like he took advantage of me when I was 13. Yeah. So I feel like it was just so
that has to so that
that is just I can't be with someone because if it goes wrong, it's gonna bring me back to that stage where it's like no, I don't want to deal with this at all. Fuck men, none of this. I
Niggas
don't need
ain't
this.
Shit. I swear. They know it.
I'm just saying like in general over here, and plus you're going to be ostracized. I'm going to be over here in Canada. You're going to be ostracized.
Yes, in Canada.
In Canada, people are going to look at you some type of way. They're going to be like, "Why the fuck are you with this man?" Blink twice. Do you need help? Excuse me.
That would be you.
Like I would be looking at you some type of way. Like what the in the cradle snatcher is this? What do you mean you're loving this man? For what? Do you know what love is? You're basically 12 in comparison to him.
Well,
I just feel that there's a lot of predatory people here. There's a lot. There's a lot of predatory. A lot of people who want to.
Here is different. I'm just gonna be real. If I have a daughter here and she's like, I want to date someone who's 10 years old,
exactly, because we've both seen like girls in our high school dating like men who are like 25, 26,
and it never
16.
It never looked pretty.
Them getting pregnant or them losing their virginity or something shit like that, and they're still fucked up. So it's
the context is definitely important.
It's very and where you live over here, don't try it. I will come for you.
Yeah,
she might not come for you. I will come knocking on your door and be like, leave this man. He does not love you.
Leave him.
Trust me. And if I feel like a man that age wants to get married or should be getting married if he wants to. Yeah. Why is he dating someone who's 18?
They're in love.
I actually don't believe in love, my friend.
I don't believe in love. I'm saying that's what their answer would be, that they're in love.
It's infatuation at that point, and
we don't know. We don't know in a couple of years how their marriage is gonna be.
I'm not saying there's gonna be outliers. There's always gonna be outliers. People who don't fit my description, but in general, the door.
Okay.
The door. You come at me, and if I'm me, because I'm turning 20 soon. So
you're such a baby.
I'm turning 20. And if some 30-year-old were to come and be like, "Hey, baby, what's up?" I'll be like, "Hey, baby, the door."
I'm like, "Hey, baby, the door," regardless of age at this point of my life.
Hey, baby, the door. Get out of here. I don't know what you're doing. Go find someone who's 20-something. Please leave me alone. I'm still changing. I'm still evolving, and I want that freedom where I don't feel like I
have to move too fast.
I have to fit you. Fast, exactly. Or I have to really shape myself to fit you. Like God forbid anything happens to that girl and that old man that she's dating, but
married to
whatever. But if something were to happen, I just said that if for her in this culture, because it's so frowned upon, if something happens, he's gonna be the one to blame.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Like, even if nothing really too bad happened, but if they break up, everyone's gonna be like, it's his fault. He should have never done this. Should have never even gone for someone her age. He ruined her youth. He took away her youth, took away her beauty, gave her kids, and she'll have to deal with him for the rest of her life because now she has children with him.
Yeah,
so she'll never escape him, and it'll feel like a nightmare.
Anyways, you heard it here. You see a lot of fashion. She's like, "Fuck no." I'm more lenient, but again, we've discussed this just because we've lived different experiences and that we agreed to disagree on the subject. We've discussed it a lot.
Yes.
So this was our first podcast.
We hope you enjoyed it.
This is us every night, regardless. So now we just put a microphone here, but this is the debate. We're even cutting it short because I'm like, we can't be making 3-hour videos now. But sometimes we sit here until 5 a.m. Like, ma'am, I don't believe in this. It's just like this. And then her friends call. Y'all still fighting. Give me a minute. Toots. What were you saying? So this is us. And if you want us to talk about anything specific, you have ideas, you just want to hear us babble, ramble.
Oh, goodness.
We'll be here.
All right. Thank you guys for listening.